Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net. Glad you could join me today. Appreciate you hanging out. And today I want to talk to you about how to double your youth ministry, double your attendance in 1 year. For those of you that are only going to be there 1 year. Sarcasm in 3, 2, 1. First of all, throw lots and lots of parties. And then, games. Play nothing but games. Games everywhere. Games everywhere is a game. Game for offering, game for worship. Games. Just play games all the time. Keep your messages to 10 minutes. 10 minutes, folks. Don't preach too long. Don't challenge anybody to serve, lead, do anything. You do everything yourself. Be sure to give away lots of expensive gifts. I mean, just throw them out there and say, look, we're giving away the latest and the greatest. We're giving away the new game system. We're giving away $100 million. We're giving away a new car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Be sure to crank up the hype machine and just make sure you put out there that you are the best, brightest thing on the block. Crank it up to 25 and let everybody know that this is the absolute best place to be ever. Don't, whatever you do, mention the cross or following Jesus. Listen, but if you're going to do it in very small doses. Be sure not to mention the words sacrifice, surrender, or any other S words that involve commitment. Be sure to have a hot band with a shallow worship leader who sings shallow worship songs and simply wants to be seen. Be sure to take all the selfies with all the beautiful people. Get in there, get in here, right? And then take pictures of all the really cool latest stuff from amazing places, and be sure to use the right filter. Now that you've doubled the attendance over the year, and you're only going to plan to be there a year, right? So just go ahead and be sure to get everybody together. Thanks, everybody, for showing up to all the cool stuff and making you feel good about yourself. And thank them for avoiding Sunday school, small group, prayer times, revivals, and anything else that remotely looks like commitment. Sarcastic rant over in 3, 2, 1. All of those things are generalizations, right? Those are things that we tend to look at as shallow, maybe and superficial. That is not to say that a youth group cannot double in a year. I want to make that abundantly clear. A youth group can certainly double in a year. If you have 5 students, you can get 10 students. If you have 10 students, you can get 20 students. If you have 20 students, there are ways to double your youth ministry. And once again, all those things are sarcasm, right? But we think that if you're only going to be there at your church for 1 year, then do all those things and you will double your youth ministry because kids will be just enamored with it. It'll be like the best thing ever. It'll be like excitement that is without church. And you just kind of create this, awesome hype machine. Of which, by the way, I have been a part of and also create. And God can do amazing things. I do not discount it at all. Remember, I said at the very beginning, if you're only going to be in your youth ministry for a year, you should do as many shallow things as possible and just double the program, right? But if you really want to know the secret, do you really want to know the secret? Do you really want to know the secret to doubling your youth ministry? Come in here close. You ready? It's patience. It's all about the patience. If you're only going to be there a year, just go ahead and go crazy. Just do game nights every night. Just do crazy stuff. All you want to do is double your attendance. But if you want to grow, if you really want to grow numerically, here's some things that I do recommend. I recommend loving kids. Yes, loving them sacrificially. Loving them when they don't love you back. Yes, and call them when they don't call you back and leave them messages. I would also recommend building a foundation of identity and community. Kids want to belong to things that they can easily identify, that this is where I belong. This is what I'm a part of. This is part of my identity. They're doing it anyway, right? They're doing it amongst their peer groups. And what we do as a youth ministry is we build community and identity. We're not just this random explosion of hormones every week. We actually have community and identity. The third thing you can do is build a reputation of reliability, faithfulness, and godliness. Those 3 things there. Over time, once again, this is about patience. Be patient. If you're a young man, be patient. If you want to be at your church longer than a year, if you want to be there for 3 years, this is it. This is the list. This is what you want to do. Build a reputation of reliability, faithfulness, and godliness. Also, serve the whole church, right? Don't just ask the church for stuff. Don't just be gimme. Figure out ways that your body, the community of students, can go out there and serve other people within the body. Also, teach and preach the scripture with passion. If it takes 10 minutes, that's great. If you can do a 10-minute message and just nail it, that's great. But don't be ashamed if you go 15, and don't be ashamed if you go 20, and don't be ashamed if you go 30, however it's formatted. If you believe in the preaching and the teaching of the word, don't sell it short. Another way to double your ministry is to call kids to follow Jesus and not you. Now listen, I know the Apostle Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ, and that's going to be part of it. But if Jesus is the center and the focus, listen, calling kids to pray a prayer or calling kids to an altar, that's all good. That's all a start, a beginning. But also we must call kids to follow Jesus every day. Another way to grow your youth ministry is to encourage small groups and small encounters. Do things in the small, right? Do things build a structure of small groups that are maybe their Bible studies where kids get fed, where kids get known, where kids are identified, where kids can build relationships. Yes, those are super structures like that. But then you have just small encounters, like you're taking a group of kids out to the movies, or you're taking a group of kids to the beach, or you're taking a group of kids to somewhere else. You don't have these small group encounters, whether it's 2, 3, 4. Those are great encounters. Everything doesn't have to be a big event. Another way you double your group is making Jesus the focus of your worship. Putting Jesus there in the highlighted zone, where maybe if you don't have a big band and lots of lights, that's okay. As long as you make Jesus the center of your worship, you're going to be just fine. And lastly, love kids, right? We bookend all of these things by loving kids, right? Everything else is a tactic, right? Everything else is a tactic to growing. But if you want to draw a crowd, great. Tactics will be fine. Just do all the tactics you want to do. You'll double your youth ministry in a month, but you'll be about 3 miles wide and about 2 inches deep. But if you want to create and make disciples in the long run, patience is going to be the key. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little rant today about how to double your youth ministry in a year. I would love your comments. I would love to know about you. Do you have to grow your youth ministry? Do you grow your youth ministry out of passion or out of pressure? Do you feel like somebody's over you, telling you have to grow, you have to grow, you have to grow? Do you feel like you have to hurry up and do that in a year? Or do you have the patience to stick around in your church for maybe 3 years and 4 years and 5 years to watch the process and enjoy the growth that happens naturally versus, sticking every kid with, some Jesus steroids and trying to make it blow up superficially? What do you guys think about growing your youth ministry? Leave me some comments down below. If you're interested in being a part of this channel, I hope you are. If you're a brand new visitor, thanks for hanging out, joining me for a little while. Appreciate you being here. Be sure to hit the subscribe button somewhere around here. My head is there. Click on that and you can subscribe. Be sure to hit the little bell down below, and also that will let you be able to get notifications when I post a new video. And if you are a regular, thank you for hanging out with me for a little while. Appreciate you guys being here. And until next time, I'll catch you later.